Jai Hind, dear students. Today we are moving to the next topic from the first unit, that is theory basis of accounting. Theory basis of accounting. In this chapter, in this area, we are going to learn about what are the different principles to be followed while recording transactions or in dealing with business transactions and accounting information. So you have to be very patient for my words. You please listen all the things, watch the video in full to learn a thorough knowledge about the concepts coming under the topic theory basis of accounting. And we have to keep all the concepts for making all the books of records related to business. So it will be very useful for you to develop all concepts related to business transactions. So accounting principles are the principles which governs the whole accounting information in a business world. First of all, we have to learn about what is accounting principle. You know very well, principles are the general statements which guides us to bring positive thoughts and ways to deal in different situations. Every time the principles shows something how to do effectively. In accounting also, accounting informations are very much useful for various interested parties. Already we have learned who are the interested parties related to accounting. So in order to give a fruitful, valid accounting information, we have to follow certain principles. So accounting principles are the rules of action or conduct adopted by accountants universally while recording accounting transactions. So all the business transactions are recorded based on the accounting principles. So in order to bring uniformity, maybe while I am recording transaction in India, or maybe my friend is recording transaction in America or any other country of the world, if they are following accounting principles, the result will be same. Result will be the same. So that is why we are following accounting principles. And it is very important to learn about accounting principles. What are the different concepts and conventions are coming under accounting? It's very important. Around 13 concepts we are going to learn related to accounting principles. Let's have a look at what are the generally accepted accounting principles all over the world. Before that, we have to watch one video related to the origin of GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles in the global era. Please watch this video very carefully. Don't forget to watch this video up to the end of the area. Then only it will be very clear for you the concepts, principles, and everything. Please watch this video related to origin of GAAP.
Hi, I am Ching Chong Chong from Europe. I would like to say the story of birth of GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. It was a story of long years back. Once there was a king in Europe who was very famous due to his ruling. He given importance to the all-round development of the people in his kingdom. Every time he thought and planned policies for the development of his country. Lots of experienced ministers are there in his ministry. Every minister supported their king for bringing advanced facilities to the country. He was also very happy due to the support of ministers. Everyone was very happy in his ruling only because he was a good leader. He approached everyone very democratically. The rules framed by him in the country helped to vanish all type of illegal activities in the country. He given a warm welcome to all traders coming from other countries too. They sold their products very freely under his rule. Though the ministers are excellent in their performance, they are unable to control the flow of cash from the ministry. All the intelligent and highly experienced persons tried to stop the phenomenon of overuse of cash when they are collecting products from the traders of other countries. They are unhappy on this situation. The different types of techniques used by the traders to collect cash for each sale disturbed the king. They also used different ways of procedure to record the transactions. They exploited the people and earned maximum cash from the kingdom. King was totally disturbed due to the untrustworthy activity of these sellers. At the same time, he was not able to solve this problem. So he approached every scholar of the world to advise a good solution for this problem. When he approached a mathematician in southern part of India, he given an advice for the solution of this problem. King was satisfied with that solution and he returned to home with happy mind and pleasure. After returning to his home country, King called a meeting of all the ministers of his kingdom. Then he discussed the solution advised by the mathematician from India. All the ministers accepted the solution and passed a rule in the meeting and named the rule GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. It must be followed by that traders who exploited the people of that kingdom. All the transactions must be recorded using that principles framed by the ministers of kingdom. GAAP brought uniformity in recording all the business transactions. After the birth of that GAAP, the king was so happy because he got a good amount of tax from that traders. Dear friends, in this way, the rules of accounting are emerged. After that, long years back, lot of academicians and thinkers, scholars from different part of the world modified all the accounting principles according to the changing business environment and transactions. So, we are following in global way the accounting standards framed by the peoples, maybe the practitioners like accountants from various different business areas, maybe from different world parts of the world following these type of accounting rules to bring uniformity in all the transactions and to bring it useful to the users of accounting information. Thank you.
Dear friends, I hope it is very clear from this story you got how the accounting principles, generally accepted accounting principles, are emerged. Let's have a look at what is the meaning of GAAP. You know very well, accounting principles are followed all around the world globally. So, in order to bring uniformity in every aspects of accounting, we have to follow the accounting principles. Then, what is GAAP? Generally accepted accounting principles refers to the rules or guidelines adopted for recording and reporting of business transactions. So, GAAP helps for recording and reporting business transactions very effectively and systematically. In order to bring uniformity in the preparation and the presentation of financial statements, we have to use accounting principles, generally accepted accounting principles. So, generally accepted accounting principles are the principles which helps for recording and reporting every business transactions systematically and also to bring uniformity in the preparation of records, preparation and presentation of accounting records, financial statements, maybe the preparation of trading profit and loss account or the preparation of financial statement, business statements, financial statements which shows financial position. So just remember the principles which help for recording and reporting transaction as well as the preparation and presentation of financial statement are known as GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. Hope it is very clear for you. Then we are moving to the features of accounting principle. Only 3 points we have to remember. All the principles are man-made. The expert in the field of business, through their experience and critical thinking, they develop all the accounting principles and which helps for recording all the transactions very systematically and to provide valid information for the users. All the experts, through their critical thoughts and creative thinking, they brought all these principles. So it is man-made. And next one is it is flexible in nature. Not at all time it is rigid. Every time, as per the changing business environment, all the principles are changing. So there are modification in the accounting principles from the older days to the present. It is flexible as per the changing business environment. And accounting principles are generally accepted. Generally accepted means it is followed by all the people, all the business people around the world. So it is generally accepted, or we can say globally accepted. So remember the 3 points. Principles are man-made, flexible, and generally accepted. So I hope it is very clear for you. Basic idea regarding what is accounting principle. So we are going to learn each and every concept regarding accounting principle. And we are using the term accounting concepts, which are providing a strong basis for recording and presenting, preparing reports related to all the business transactions in a firm. So accounting concepts are referred to as the fundamental ideas or basic assumptions underlying the theory and practice of financial accounting, are broad working rules for all accounting activities and developed by the accounting profession. So remember, accounting concepts are that gives lot of basis, which is based on some assumptions. So remember, all the concepts are based on some assumptions created by the accounting professionals, and which are working rules, which are broad working rules, which guide for recording transactions and the preparation of financial statement. So remember, we are also going to prepare the accounts, making journal entry, posting it into ledger, then the preparation of trading profit and loss account and also balance sheet is only based on the principles, accounting concepts we are going to learn. So each and every concepts are very important. Please concentrate on each accounting concepts. Whenever we are recording, solving problems, it is very essential for our studies also. So just remember what is accounting concept. It is the assumptions underlying some theory and practice, and which helps for recording all the activities in a firm, and it is developed by accounting professionals through their experience. Hope it is very clear. So these are the accounting concepts we are going to learn. We are going to learn the concepts like a business entity concept, money measurement concept, going concern concept, consistency concept, accounting period concept, cost concept, dual aspect concept, conservatism concept, revenue recognition concept, matching concept, full disclosure concept, materiality concept, and the concept of objectivity. Around 13 concepts we have to learn. So be ready for learning the first concept, that is business entity concept. Already in the first video we learn the accounting terms. There we learn the meaning of the term entity. You know very well, it shows the individuality. Entity means it shows the individuality of something, maybe a business concern or a business person. So, as per this concept, it is very essential. Whenever there is a business firm, there will be one owner for that particular business, maybe a sole trader or partners or shareholders. Lot of people are there. If only owner is there, then we can say sole trader, sole proprietor, a single owner. Whatever it may be, every firm have one owner. As per this principle, the owner and the firm are two different entities. Two different entities in the eyes of law or in some legal matters. So just read the paragraph. This concept assumes that business has a distinct and separate entity from its owners. Distinct entities. That means business and the owners are two different entities. They are two, not the same. They are two entities. Therefore, business transactions are recorded in the books of accounts from the business point of view and not owner's point of view. We are preparing the records, accounting records. We are preparing all the books of records for the firm by thinking in the viewpoint of the firm, not in the point of view of the owner. So, for example, when we are bringing capital, when we are investing some amount of money in our business, we are recording the transactions in the books of accounts. We are recording the transaction. Whenever some amount of money invested into the business, then their capital increases. Capital increases as well as cash also in the business increases. So, what is happening for the business? The business is getting so many amount as capital in the form of cash. So we are recording, when we are recording this transaction, we are writing what is happening for the business, not for the owner. What is happening, whether the cash is increasing or decreasing. So whenever some amount of money invested in the business, the balance means the capital of the business is increasing. So it is very clear we are preparing the accounts of business, not the owners. Whenever we are recording the transaction, we have to think from the viewpoint of business, not from the viewpoint of the owner. So please remember the first concept, business entity concept, which says that owner and the business firm are two different entities, two different concepts, especially when there is any legal issues also. When there is any legal issues also, there will be some legal issues. The case will come in the name of the organization, firm, business firm, not in the name of the owner. But as a firm is an artificial person, by representing that firm, owner have to go to the court. That is happening. So remember, as per the business entity concept, the owner and the business firm are two different entities. So that is the first concept. We have to record all the transaction from the viewpoint of the business firm. We are moving to the next one, money measurement concept. So money measurement concept. What is money? Whatever it may be the transaction. You know very well, two types of transactions are there, cash transaction and credit transaction. Whenever there is something purchased or sold, we have to record the transaction in monetary terms. In monetary terms. Suppose we are writing purchased goods or purchased furniture. Nothing is mentioned about the amount of purchase or amount of sale of goods. But when we are recording the transactions along with the amount of purchase or sales, it will be very easy to find out the financial position at the end of the financial year. So, this principle and accounting concept says that we have to measure all the transactions. So, purchased furniture for 10,000. That transaction shows the firm purchased the furniture for rupees 10,000. So, it is very clear when they are purchasing furniture for rupees 10,000, they are losing cash. They are losing 10,000, but their asset, furniture, fixed asset is increasing. So we can record the transaction very clearly if we are measuring each and every transaction in monetary terms. So this concept says that transactions and events that can be expressed in money terms are recorded in the books of accounts. Non-monetary transactions cannot be recorded in the books like appointment of manager, capability of human resources, etc. No use of that information in accounting. So we have to measure only maximum quantitative information and it must be in monetary terms. What is the amount of money spent for purchasing or what is the amount of money we are getting when some products are sold. So we have to mention what is the actual amount of inflow and outflow of cash. So that is money measurement concept. All the transactions must be recorded in monetary terms. The third business concept, accounting concept is that going concern concept. Going concern concept. Going concern concept. Every time, every business people starting their business to continue for a long period. Continue for a long period. We are also recording all the accounting transactions by assuming that we will continue the business for a long period. So we will record all the transaction for that period up to which the business exists. So this concept is also says that we have to record all the business transactions, accounting information by thinking that the business will continue for a long period. So this concept assumes that business shall continue to carry out its operations indefinitely for a long period of time and would not be liquidated in the foreseeable future. It provides the very basis for showing the value of asset in balance sheet. So we never liquidate the business at a sudden. We will continue for a long period. That is going concern concept. I hope it is very clear for you. The next one is accounting period concept. It's very important for recording the business transaction. Accounting period concept. My dear students, you know very well, every year there will be one budget by the government. Is it possible to recall which month the budget is presented by the minister, especially the finance minister in the parliament? I hope you are very clear. During the month of March, they are presenting the budget. Maybe at the state ministry or at the central ministry, they are presenting the budget during the month of March. So, in business also, they are keeping on particular period to find out the profit and loss at the end of that particular period. Most probably, at the global level, the business peoples are recording transactions from 1st April to 1st April to 31st March, or some countries, some business peoples are recording transactions from 1st January to 31st December. Whatever it may be, they are recording the transactions for 1 year. At the end of 31st March or 31st December, they are going to stop recording of transaction and also they are taking all the transaction up to that time to find out the profitability of the organization and financial position of the organization. So it is very clear at the end of this accounting period, they are starting to calculate the profit or loss or the financial position, whether it is balanced or not. So that period is known as accounting period. So normally and most commonly used accounting periods are starting from 1st April, ending 31st March. Maybe starting from 1st January, ending 31st December. That concept is known as accounting concept. So every time, every business firms record the transactions based on this accounting period. So we have to learn what is accounting period concept. Accounting period refers to the span of time at the end of which financial statements are prepared to know the profit or loss and financial position of the business. Information is required to by different users at regular intervals for decision making. So based on that accounting information, the users are taking better decision. So they have to stop recording up to some time. At the end of 31st March or at the end of 31st December, they have to prepare the financial statements. So based on that, they are calculating profitability and financial position. So remember the accounting period. We are recording transaction while solving our problem also. We have to keep in mind one accounting period is starting from 1st April, ending in 31st March. Maybe started from 1st April 2019, ending in 31st March 2020, or from 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2019. That is accounting period concept. Hope it is very clear for you. We are moving to the next accounting concept. Students, the next accounting principle is cost concept. Accounting concept is cost concept. Cost means what is the value paid for purchasing some items, especially fixed asset. Suppose we are running an organization. For the running of that business, we need on machinery having rupees 5 lakh, and we are purchasing that machinery from Coimbatore. Suppose we have to bring the machinery to Trivandrum, and when we are purchasing that machinery at Coimbatore, the value is 5 lakh. But when we are bringing that machinery to Trivandrum, we have to pay carrying charges, traveling expenses, like maybe around rupees 1,20,000. We have to pay around rupees 1,20,000. So, as per the principle or concept of cost, we have to take all the amount to calculate the value of that machinery. We have to take all the amount, means the original amount of that asset plus the traveling expense, the carrying charges, whatever it may be, including the installation charges in the working place. So we have whatever it may be the amount spent for transportation, acquisition, and installation, we have to take into consideration. Otherwise, no way to record all other expenses related to the asset. So every time when we are purchasing on asset, especially fixed asset, we have to take the consideration of all these aspects. That is cost concept. So according to this concept, all assets are recorded in the books of accounts at the purchase price, which includes the purchase price plus cost of acquisition plus the transportation cost and the cost of installation. Not only the original price, maybe the maximum retail price. We have to add along with the maximum retail price, the price of acquisition, transportation, and installation. That concept is cost concept. So that amount shows the total cost of that particular asset and we have to record the total amount in the books of records for the value of that particular asset. So please keep in mind cost concept. Next one is dual aspect concept. Dual aspect concept. So as per this concept, every transaction involves two aspects. Every transaction involves two aspects. Please be very careful. This aspect is very important for writing journal entry, ledger, and everything. Even though when we learn the accounting rules at that time also, this concept is very essential. So, what is the two aspect in a transaction? One transaction will be increasing on, another will be decreasing on. So two aspect will be there. Sometimes on increasing and on decreasing aspect. Sometimes two increasing aspect like so. So we have to find out that two aspects. I would like to say one example. Already I had told one example, purchase of furniture. Purchase of furniture for rupees 10,000. So the firm, we have to think from the viewpoint of the firm while recording this transaction, purchase of furniture for rupees 10,000. So at that time, we have to find out the two aspects. When the firm purchases furniture, the amount of cash is losing. It is decreasing. The amount of cash is decreasing. But at the same time, the amount of asset is increasing. Amount of furniture is increasing. So from that transaction, we find out two items, one increasing item and another decreasing item. So two aspect is there related to that particular transaction. One increasing aspect and another decreasing aspect. So dear students, whenever there is a business transaction, we can find out these type of two aspects. For example, we sold goods for rupees 5,000. So sold means sales. Sales is revenue, and when we are selling goods, we are getting cash, and the revenue is increasing. Cash is increasing at the same time, income is also increasing. Two aspects are there, but we are losing goods also. So normally we will take two aspects, sales and cash. Sales means revenue is increasing, and cash cash also increasing, asset is also increasing. So every transaction involves two aspects. And started business with the capital 1 lakh. Another transaction, started business. I had started business with the rupees 10 lakh. So when the business is starting, what is happening with the 10 lakh? What is happening for the business? The business is getting rupees 10 lakh. Their capital increases, also cash for the firm increases. Two aspects from the transactions are capital and cash. So every business transaction involves these two aspects, that is dual aspect. That concept is known as dual aspect. So please remember in your mind what is dual aspect. So this concept provides the very basis for recording the transactions in the books of accounts. It states that every transaction entered in the books has two aspects. This principle is also known as duality principle. So every transaction involves two aspects, one increasing aspect and one decreasing aspect. Sometimes both are increasing and decreasing aspect. So remember dual aspect concept. The next one is revenue recognition concept. Revenue recognition concept or realization concept. Realization concept. So according to this principle, revenue means the income. The total amount is getting for a firm by selling some products. That is revenue. It is considered to have been realized when a transaction has been entered and obligation to receive the amount has been established. So we have to realize the amount of revenue when there is a transaction, when there is a business transaction. Otherwise, we can say we receive right to receive the revenue, then it is called revenue is realized. When we are transferring the goods from our hand to the buyer, then we can say there arises some amount of revenue. Then we can record the business transaction. So that is a revenue recognition concept. So when there is a possibility where whether maybe cash transaction or credit transaction, there is a possibility of originating some amount of revenue for the transaction or the exchange of goods, maybe at cash or credit, then we can realize there is some amount of revenue originated that we can record in the books of accounts. So, without exchanging any product or any service, we can't recognize the amount of revenue. So, only by transferring the products or services, we can recognize or calculate the amount of revenue originated from the transaction. Hope it is very clear. The next business concept, accounting concept is matching concept. We have to match every transaction. There will be some amount of revenue due to the amount spent or the cost involved in the production. So, as per the matching concept, the expense incurred in an accounting period should be matched with the revenue during that period. Suppose I am starting a business, maybe dealing some consumer items of daily use by investing some amount of money like 50,000. Suppose I am selling some vegetables by collecting vegetables from a wholesaler at rupees 50,000. After 1 week or 1 month or the particular end of the accounting period, I have to match whether I have more than 50,000 or less than 50,000. So it is very easy to find out the profitability of my organization, business organization. So that is here matched the revenue with the expense during that particular period. It follows from this that revenue and expenses incurred to earn the revenues must belong to the same accounting period. So we can record all the transaction only by matching the revenue and expenses during only a particular period. Suppose I am running a hotel where I am giving rooms for rent. So every year or every month I will get a rent from my customers. Suppose some people will not pay the amount of rent on time. So some amount of money will be pending for the rent. But I can record that items in the books of accounts by realizing that it will come within the accounting period. We have to realize that. So we have to match all the revenues with the expenses. That is matching concept. And the next one is full disclosure concept. Full disclosure concept. So as per this information, you know very well why we are recording the business transactions, because we have to prepare some report in order to present it before the users. We have to give the full information about our business firm to the users. That is full disclosure concept. We can't hide any information. It is illegal. So we have to prepare proper financial statements and have to present through different medias in front of the users. Financial statements are the basic means of communicating financial information to its users for taking financial decisions. This concept, full disclosure concept, states that all material and relevant fact and financial performance of that firm must be fully disclosed in financial statements of the business. So suppose I am running on business, the people from outside the firm will be interested to invest in my business only when I am expressing or presenting the right information, right financial performance of my business. If my business have good growth, then only the business people from outside the business, the investors will interested to invest money in my business. So how they are getting the performance of my business? Only through the financial information. So we have to give full information to the public, the bank, to the investors, to the government, etc. That is full disclosure concept. And next one, the 10th concept is consistency concept. Consistency concept. We have to follow all the accounting rules consistently without any personal bias. Then only we will get the right information, right result for taking better decisions. So this concept says that accounting practice followed by an enterprise should be uniform and consistent over a period of time. So whatever it may be, we can't record the transactions with our own personal prejudice, but we have to follow all the accounting rules consistently during the accounting period. So consistency always eliminates the personal bias, which helps in achieving the results that are comparable. So only through the consistent follow-up of accounting information, accounting principles, we will get valid information to be comparable with the performance of other companies, with the performance of other organizations. So remember, consistency concept says that we have to follow the accounting principles consistently. Whenever we are recording the business transactions, we have to record the transactions by following accounting principles throughout the financial year, accounting P. So that is consistency concept. And the next one is conservatism concept. Conservatism concept or prudence concept. So it is very important on conservatism concept. Conservation, you know very well the meaning of the word conservatism. We have to protect all the values of business. Here, this concept takes into consideration all prospective losses but not the prospective profit. Prospective means what is the profit that may get in future. So we have to follow the rules. We have to protect the value. We have to write or record the right information. We can't take any prejudice into the accounting information. We have to take prospective losses. We can anticipate what is the loss that may happen in future and take business decision. But we can't expect the profit in future. So, as per this principle, conservatism concept or prudence concept, we have to record only we can record the anticipated losses or prospective losses, but not the prospective profit. It means profit should not be recorded until it is realized. But all losses we can take into consideration for taking decision. So this concept, conservation concept or prudence concept says that we can take into account or we can record the anticipated losses but not the unrealized profit. So remember, we are moving to the last areas of accounting concept. Next one is materiality concept. The 12th accounting concept is materiality. Materiality means having some basic evidence, facts. The concept of materiality requires that accounting should focus on material facts, not on the non-material facts. Every time, whenever we are recording the transaction, we have to record the business transaction having some material facts. So efforts should not be wasted in recording and presenting facts which are immaterial. in the determination of income. We have to take the items which is material or not shall depend upon the nature and amount involved in it. We have to take all the material facts while recording the business transaction. Not we are not able to give importance for the immaterial facts. So remember, materiality concept says that we have to focus on the material facts behind every transaction. For example, what is the item purchased and what is the quantity and price of the product. We have to give maximum importance for the price and quantity, not for the quality. Okay. And the last accounting concept is objectivity concept. Objectivity concept. What is objectivity? Know very well. It is, if we can say something is objective where there is no influence of personal bias and prejudice. This concept says that accounting should be free from personal bias. Whenever we are recording a business transaction, not need to influence or not need to bring our personal thoughts and views while recording the transaction. We have to record all the transaction based on evidences. Evidences like receipts, invoices, cash memos, vouchers, etc. So this concept gives more importance for materialistic evidence than the personal bias. This can be possible when every transaction is supported by verifiable documents. You know very well, the auditor's duty in an organization is to cross-check the voucher with the particular transaction recorded in the book. So, whenever we are recording the transaction, we have to keep the material evidence. Even in a small margin-free market also, they are recording all the transaction with the support of computer software, and there will be on receipt which is given for the customer, that can be taken a duplicate copy for the owner also. So similarly, other supporting documents are cash memo, invoice, receipt, which are providing the basis for accounting and auditing. So this is the last accounting concept. As per this concept, which we have to give more importance for the accounting rules, not for our personal views and facts. So my dear students, around 13 accounting concepts are there. All the things are very different, but we have to follow all these things in the recording of business transaction. Please make a concept, a mind map about the names, titles of all accounting concepts. Dear students, we are moving to another small topic from the area theories of basic accounting. Here, basis of accounting is the topic. Actually, it is related to recording of business transaction. We can record the business transaction on two bases, maybe cash basis or accrual basis. So cash basis is related to the accounting concept, accounting period concept, or financial period, financial year concept. One example is, I am getting rent every year from my lodgers. So I am recording the transaction from 1st January to 31st December. This year I am recording from 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020. But one of my customer is paying rent maybe for 1st January and February and March of 2021. But as per this basis, no need to take the transactions or amount of money in the book of account which are coming after 31st December 2020. So cash basis says that entries in the books of accounts are made when cash is received or paid, not when the receipt or payment becomes due. So whatever may be the amount of money or something paid or received must be recorded in the books of accounts only what is happening in the business during that particular financial year, not whatever may be happen in the future. So we have to record the transactions only when there is something paid or received. Don't record the transaction by expecting that they will pay on that day or we have to pay on that day. We have to record the transaction if it is based on cash or cash basis. We have to record only what is the amount received or paid. That is cash basis. But it's just the accrual basis is just opposite to cash basis. There we will record all the transaction, maybe a credit transaction. The amount is not paid, but we will write the amount will receive. The amount will receive. We will record that like that. So under accrual basis, revenue and cost are recognized in the period in which they occur rather than when they are paid. They will record all the transaction considering that they will get the amount within that particular financial year, accounting period, rather than without pay. But in cash basis, they will record all the receipt and payments only when they are getting money or when they are paying the money. But in accrual basis, if transactions are recorded on the basis of accrual, the receipt and payments are recognized that it will happen within the financial year. So most probably every business firms are following cash basis for recording transaction. Cash basis means then only we will get what is the amount of money actually received or paid and the difference profit. So remember this small concept and we are moving to the next topic, accounting standards. You know very well, some standards shows a criteria to be followed in evaluating something. Like so, accounting standards are some written statements which are to be followed throughout the country to bring uniformity in recording accounting transactions. Accounting standards are written statements which follows all around the world to bring uniformity in all transactions. These are written statements of uniform accounting rules and guidelines or practice for preparing the uniform and consistent financial statement. Suppose we are preparing journal or ledger or any other accounting related records. When we are preparing in India and my friend is preparing in America, we are following the same format only because of the accounting standards. So it is a part of generally accepted accounting principle. So accounting standards is a part of accounting principle which shows a statement to be followed by the business people while recording the business transaction. We have to learn Indian accounting standards and the international level accounting standards. So just remember these are the accounting rules or guidelines or practices. Practice means when we are finding out the profit, we are using the same equation all around the world. So that is the concept accounting standards. And what is the use of accounting standards? We have to learn. It have a greater utility. The first point shows they provide the norms on the basis of which financial statements should be prepared. So every time accounting standards provides the norms, the rules, how to prepare the trading profit and loss account or how to prepare the balance sheet. It shows the accounting standards shows the rules to be followed while recording the transactions in the books. How to use the debit and credit rules while recording transaction. So the norms on the basis of financial transactions to be recorded and statements to be prepared. It creates a confidence among the users of accounting information because they are reliable. Everywhere, every part of the world, the accounting information will be same if they are following the same accounting principles. So it will be very essential, beneficial for users to take better decision. They will get a reliable information, valid information. So only because of accounting standards, only by following accounting standards, the users are confident with the available accounting information. Then it helps the accountants to follow the uniform accounting practices which help the auditors for auditing. So every time the accountants, maybe in India or Afghanistan or America, China, Russia, everywhere, they are following the same rules and regulations with some modification, which it will help the auditors to do their work very efficiently and with maximum speed. So it is only because of the accounting standards. And it ensures uniformity in the preparation and presentation of financial statements. All the business firms, maybe small size or large size, if they are following accounting standards, they can bring uniformity in recording business transactions. So it will bring uniformity in the preparation and presentation of their business information everywhere. No need to bring any personal judgments. Only you have to follow what is told by, what is explained in different accounting standards. So a lot of accounting standards are there related to the preparation of accounting books, records, preparation of financial statements, preparation of cash flow statement. Lots are there. Here we have to learn how the Indian accounting standards emerged. Actually, Indian accounting standards, abbreviated as India AS, is the accounting standard adopted by the companies in India and issued under the supervision of Accounting Standard Board, which was constituted as a body in the year 21st April 1977. So, Accounting Standard Board in India is controlling and framing the accounting standards to be followed by companies in India. Accounting Standard Board is a committee under the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI. So it includes people from Institute of Chartered Accountant of India and representatives from the government departments, especially from the central government, academicians at the top level, and other professional bodies also included in Accounting Standard Board committee. They are taking the decision related to the registration of company, change in different sections of the Companies Act, Partnership Act, and every act. They are framing the rules and regulations related to business activities in the world, especially in India. That is Indian Accounting Standard, which are formulated by Accounting Standard Board in India. And it was established in 21st April 1977. Then we have to look at the last concept in this video lesson, International Financial Reporting Standards. While we are recording the transaction at the global level, we have to follow IFRS also. IFRS stands for International Financial Reporting Standards. International Financial Reporting Standards. Remember the expansion. It maintains uniformity and use of same or single accounting standards, International Financial Reporting Standards, and it was developed by International Accounting Standard Board. International Accounting Standard Board, which includes experts and academicians from different parts of the world, Institute of Chartered Accountants from different global level peoples are included in the committee. They are framing the International Financial Reporting Standards. These standards also gives basis for recording the business transactions at the global level. So please keep in your mind all the concepts learned today from the very beginning. What is accounting principle? What are the different benefits? What is the accounting concept? The 13 accounting concepts. Then what is the different basis of accounting? Cash basis and accrual basis. And what is accounting standard? And Indian Accounting Standard, and about International Financial Reporting Standard, IFRS. So thank you for your patient listening. Please make notes of all these things, and please subscribe my channel for more videos, and thank you for your support. Thank you so much.